Hey guys, welcome to today's video where we're going to be talking about Joe Burrow. We're going to be looking at some Joe Burrow film and analyzing why I think he is the Bengals franchise quarterback from what I saw from him in 2020. Before we get started, please drop a like and a sub. I'd really appreciate it. It would really help my channel grow. And with that said, let's dive right into the video, and I hope you enjoy. So before we look at the Joe Burrow film for a second, I just want to talk about his stats in 2020. So the first overall pick, obviously in last April's draft, threw for 2,600 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions in 10 games. Remember, he got injured in that game against the Washington football team, and he finished the season with a 65.3% completion percentage. Then he also added some yards and some touchdowns on the ground game too. He had 142 yards via the ground and 3 rushing touchdowns. So overall, he was really good. One stat that did kind of stand out to me was his 9 total fumbles, which is a little bit high, especially for only playing 10 games. But that is definitely because of the offensive line playing in front of him. But overall, Joe Burrow had a fantastic rookie season. And now let's dive into the film analysis part. So the first play I want to show you is actually Joe Burrow's first touchdown pass. And I'm actually going to let the video play out so you can see the pass. And it's a very nice throw to his tight end. And here's how Joe Burrow does this. I think this is a great throw because it shows his anticipation. It shows his ability to understand where the defense is, what the defense is giving him, and where he needs to throw the ball. So this is the tight end here. And basically the tight end's just going to run a route to the end zone just like that. Okay, but what Burrow needs to understand is that the safety over the top is going to come and help, and then there's a defender right here that's going to come back because he understands its zone coverage. So basically, if this is the tight end he's going to run to the end, there's going to be a small window for Burrow to be able to throw that ball into, for his tight end to catch it, for the safety to not be able to get it, and for the corner underneath to be out of the play. So that's what Burrow is basically saying. And this is a good throw by Burrow. As you can see, as you've already seen, he throws a touchdown here. And as I continue to roll the clip, what you can see now is that here's the corner in plain sight. Burrow is looking over here to his tight ends. The safety is reading the eyes of Burrow in this situation, and he sees that Burrow's looking over here. So what the safety does is he continues to move over to the left, and now as the play develops, right, the tight end is streaking to the end zone. The corner here is also reading Burrow's eyes, right? He understands where the ball's going. So he has to go back too. So now you have 2 defenders converging where Burrow wants to throw the ball. And this is a great throw by Burrow to be able to throw this ball into that spot. Really good anticipation and good job from him to get that ball into that area. And as you can see, he can complete the catch. The next play I want to show you is all about Burrow and his anticipation. So this is a great play by Joe Burrow. I mean, absolutely off the chart. So he sees all these guys at the line of scrimmage, and he understands that the pressure is coming. So he understands that it's also 3rd and 5, right? So you need to basically pick up the first down yardage, and you need to get the ball out quickly. So he has his receiver in AJ Green running this route basically here. So if Burrow, what he wants to do in this situation is he snaps the ball and automatically and very quickly gets that ball out. And this is really smart because he understands he doesn't have a lot of time because there's a ton of guys at the line of scrimmage that are all about to pressure him. So as you can see, as I continue to roll the clip here, right, before the pressure really gets to him, I mean, the pocket's collapsing, but the pressure, I mean, there's no one really on him, like, immediately. He probably has 1 to 2 seconds to throw the ball. He's anticipating this throw to AJ Green. That's AJ Green right here. And Burrow's able to throw it back shoulder with perfect ball placement to allow for AJ Green to catch the ball and for the corner to have no play on the ball. This is really smart. It's a timing play. It's an anticipation play. And this shows that Burrow has those tools. So as you can see here, this is a good angle about where he's throwing the ball. If the ball is thrown over here, right, AJ Green probably still catches it, but it's much easier for the corner to get a hand in. But by throwing it to the back shoulder, AJ Green is using his body to ward off the defender, and Burrow's able to just slide it in there, and then AJ Green can catch that football and move the chains for a first down. So really nice throw and really nice play showing the Burrow's anticipation and his ability and his chemistry with his receiver. So those are all really good things to see from a young quarterback. Additionally, something that's nice to see with a young quarterback, especially at a younger age, right, with the younger quarterbacks that are coming to the NFL, is you want to see their mobility. Okay, so in this situation, Burrow understands that it's 1st and 10. This is the game situation, right? You got 4th quarter, 3:48 left. You need to move the chains, right? You don't necessarily need to do it on this play, but you need to get a first down in the next few plays. So what Burrow does here is he sees that there are 4 guys at the line of scrimmage, and he knows that this offensive line has been pretty bad in this game. So they've given up a lot of pressure. So in this situation, Burrow knows that he's going to need to get the ball out quickly, right? He understands that. So this is what he sees. So basically, his entire goal here is just to get the ball out quickly, to throw the ball downfield. So that's what the defense is giving. Remember, there's pressure coming. And, I mean, Cleveland is some of the better guys in the NFL at getting to the quarterback, guys like Olivier Vernon, obviously Myles Garrett. So Burrow understands that as the pocket collapses, as we see here, right, as the pressure comes, pocket collapses, Burrow needs to get outside the pocket, and he's able to do this really effectively. And this is something he did a lot as a rookie. He really understood where the pressure was coming from and when he needed to move. And this is perhaps the most impressive thing. Now that he's outside the pocket, what I like to see from young rookie quarterbacks are that they're able to throw the ball downfield while moving to their left or moving to their right. So in this case, as Burrow continues to roll out, now he doesn't really have anyone in front of him. He's not really pressured. There's guys coming to him. Yeah, sure, there's this defender and this defender here. But now he's able to make this pass over here, which is actually a really hard pass to make as he's moving to the left and he's a right-handed quarterback. So that's impressive from Burrow. That's something that's very exciting and very good to see him be able to make and complete this pass. Good job by him in this situation. The next play I want to show you is a play that utilizes Burrow's legs. Okay, and this is something that I want to show you because it's very good to see young quarterbacks that are mobile. The game is moving towards mobile quarterbacks, and a guy like Joe Burrow is not a guy that you think of as a mobile quarterback, yet he has wheels, and this play shows it. Also, this is a very good example of him being smart. So at the line of scrimmage, he sees that there are 4 guys rushing, right? Okay, and then there's a middle linebacker here. Everyone else is in man coverage along the side, okay? This means that if the tackle and the guard match up one-on-one against the defenders, the center can move up and block the middle linebacker, okay? What this means is that as Burrow sees this, you can see him audibling right here. And what he wants to do now is he wants to basically do a quarterback draw where the center will move up and then Burrow can just follow. And then he has the quickness and the ability to escape and just get outside the pocket and just run for a touchdown. This is a great play by Joe Burrow. It really shows his wheels. And that's something that he's going to need to utilize moving forward in his next few seasons. Okay, so in this situation, this is a great play by Joe Burrow to be able to get outside the pocket and just be slippery. And this is something that I like to see from young quarterbacks. It's something I talked about when I saw Tua Tagovailoa and broke down his film. So there are 5 guys rushing the quarterback in this situation. Joe Burrow sees that, and he understands that this Cleveland team has good defensive linemen and linebackers that can get to the quarterback, and he understands that his offensive line is giving up a lot of pressure. So as the pressure comes, as you can see, the pressure comes in this situation, Joe Burrow now he's under duress. That's the easiest way to say it in this situation. He's under duress. I mean, there's a guy who has his arm around him, there's another guy who's about to come to him, there's another guy coming, and the center isn't helping whatsoever, which doesn't help in this situation. But Burrow is very slippery when it comes to being able to be taken down, which is something good for a rookie quarterback, for a young quarterback who's able to be mobile with some speed and with some strength and some size. And he's able to get outside the pocket here and make a really good play on the run. Okay, so as he continues to get outside the pocket, he has the vision then to, as the guys are coming to him, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in his vicinity really, he's able to make this throw on the run, and that's a really good throw, moving to his left and throwing the football. And this is good because it shows that Burrow is able to not only get outside the pocket, but it shows that he's got some accuracy outside the pocket too, some arm strength to throw on the run, right, accurately too. But more importantly, this play is a good example of him believing in his abilities, right? He understands he has the ability to get outside the pocket, but this is a play where it's like he shouldn't have been able to escape, right? The defensive lineman had his arm right around him. He probably shouldn't have been able to get outside the pocket, but he does anyway. And those kinds of plays gives a quarterback confidence to go out and make more plays like that, even though they shouldn't. And that's when you start seeing mistakes, okay? So now we're going to go to the Joe Burrow mistakes. As I've already talked about, we've seen a lot of good things from Joe Burrow. We've seen his accuracy, we've seen his anticipation, his ability to be mobile, his ability to get outside of the pocket in sticky situations, and of course his ability to throw the ball downfield, as we saw earlier on when it came to that A.J. Green throw or even that first touchdown pass of his career and that first thing I saw you. That was him all understanding what the defense was giving him. So he's very smart, and his leadership is off the charts. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But for starters, now let's go to one of his mistakes. And one of his mistakes was against the Washington football team. This was the game he got injured in, and he tried to make a play, trying to get to the end zone here. And he ended up fumbling the ball. And I'm gonna talk about this play. I'm gonna break this play down because I think it's a very interesting play to understand Joe Burrow's mentality. So obviously Joe Burrow has the ability to get outside the pocket and make big plays on the run. We've already seen that. Okay. However, in this situation, he sees that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 guys pressuring him, and I've already talked about this Bengals O-line. They are not a good group. So Burrow knows he needs to get the ball up quickly. Okay. That's going to be pretty much what it is. These guys are going to come, and Burrow's going to be under pressure. And let's roll the tape here, and let's stop right about there, where you can see now the pressure's coming. Okay, the pressure is here, and Burrow has to make a move. There's a guy coming. This is pretty much sealed. Good job by the offensive line in this situation. And now Burrow has to move up in the pocket and get out. And this is a good job by Burrow. He's doing everything well. Right now, in this situation, right, I would have probably liked to see him continue moving over here. He ends up deciding to cut back, okay? But this is a good job. He's gotten outside the pocket. Now he's in open space. Maybe he can try and make a move, maybe even dive for something. But he ends up cutting back, okay? So let's roll the tape here, and let's stop it right about there. So now that he's cut back, right, he's now cut back to the inside, okay? He now is trying to dive for this pylon, and he's a solid, I'd say 1, maybe 1.5 to 2 yards short of the pylon, and that football is way open and way extended. It's basically there for the defender to take it. And as Chase Young, I think that is Chase Young, gives a big hit on Joe Burrow, that ball's knocked loose, and then the Bengals end up turning it over. So in this situation, this is one Burrow needing to understand down and distance. He's 2 yards short of the end zone. Don't dive for it, okay? And then he also needs to understand ball security. This is a rookie mistake from Joe Burrow, but it's something where he's going to need to learn how to take care of his body moving forward. Obviously, he got injured, so he's going to need to be able to be a little bit less aggressive in open space, but nonetheless, he does, I think, 3/4 of this right. I mean, he cuts back to the inside, thinks he has a better lane there, but he shouldn't have dived for the pylon here. He needs to protect the football, and he needs to protect his body if he wants to continue being healthy moving forward. And finally, the last thing I want to show you is another Joe Burrow mistake, okay? This is a Joe Burrow classic rookie mistake. And this is in the first game against the Los Angeles Chargers. So we didn't really see a lot of these boneheaded moves later on in the season, but this was a real surprise, okay? And this is late in the fourth quarter. Look at the game situation, 5:20 on the clock. And this is going to be a screen pass, okay? So basically what's going to happen is the tackle's going to block here. These two offensive linemen are going to move up, and then the running back is going to come over, and Burrow's going to try and feed the running back. That's basically the idea of the play. That's the idea of the play. So let's roll the clip here for a second. Okay? And as you can see, as the pressure comes and as Burrow feels pressured, he moves outside the pocket, right? That is something that he was able to do all season. The blockers are in front. Good job. Here's the running back who's going to get outside. And then Burrow, right, he feels the pressure. He's now going to move outside. And this is a good job, right? The play is working perfectly. However, at the point that Burrow now wants to throw the ball, right? Burrow wants to throw the ball. He needs to be a little bit more aware with his eyes in this situation. So he sees... obviously, these guys are up front. They're blocking really well. He sees his running back here, but what he doesn't see is he doesn't see the defender right here. So in this situation, if the pass is not open, right, a screen pass to a running back, I mean, that's the play. The pass isn't open, you just need to run out of bounds. Okay, that's the smart play. Don't force a ball. Don't, especially with shoveling it with one hand into the defender's arms. That's just not a smart football play. So this is just a dumb rookie mistake by Joe Burrow, but we didn't really see that many of these for the rest of the season. I mean, after this game, I mean, he only had 4 interceptions on the year, so really good job from Joe Burrow, really keeping the ball in his hands and not really turning the ball over that much through the air. As I said, fumbles were an issue. Obviously, we saw the fumble that I just showed you, but also, I mean, his offensive line was not great in protecting him. So with that said, I mean, Burrow in this situation probably just needs to just run for the first down and just get outside the pocket and just run out of bounds, okay? That's probably what he should do. And this is a great angle here where I can show you that you see the running back's covered. I don't see what Joe Burrow is looking at. Maybe if he puts it out here, maybe there's a chance. But I think he should just run here. I mean, there really isn't anyone there, and he's faster than the defensive lineman and the defensive end, and I just don't think that's the right play for Joe Burrow here. He's trying to force the ball into a small spot when that's not the play. I mean, there's even maybe a pass deeper downfield. There's a linebacker here, so I don't know if that's the smart play either. But Burrow here, he just makes the wrong read, wrong decision, and that happens with rookie quarterbacks. You tend to see that when it comes down to rookie quarterbacks at the end of the day, and you know what? It happens, okay? But what I saw from Joe Burrow in his rookie season was his ability to throw the ball deep. We saw that with that first touchdown pass. He saw what the defense is giving him, and he was able to put that ball in a perfect spot in between the corner and the safety to just put one right there. And then we saw him able to have great anticipation. That throw to A.J. Green that I showed you, that I broke down, that was a great throw with anticipation. And then we saw his ability to be a little bit slippery in the pocket and to elude presence and to be able to throw on the run, especially moving to his left. Obviously, he's a right-handed quarterback, so he's going to be able to move to his right and throw on the run. But he was able to move to the left and throw on the run, too. Very impressive. As he's moving to the left, throwing with his other shoulder, it's a little bit hard to do. And then we saw his mobility. I mean, that big touchdown play against the Chargers showed his ability and his willingness to get outside the pocket and move and use his legs. However, moving forward, the things that I did see from him, he sometimes, is overconfident at times, and that's okay, right? That's okay. But he needs to understand that down and distance, as I showed you in that Washington game where he tried to dive for the pylon, but he's 2 yards short of the pylon. I mean, he wasn't there, and he basically gives up the football there, and that's a huge swing play in that game. So overall, he needs to be smarter. He just needs to be smarter when he gets outside the pocket, understands he can't do too much. Rookie quarterbacks like to do too much at times, but he's got to settle down. But what I saw from him in his rookie season was great leadership at the end of the day. It was all about his leadership, all about his anticipation, all about his football feel. And when it comes to his football feel and his football IQ, those things are off the charts. And his leadership was great, and I loved what I saw from him. And I think that, even the stats show it too. This guy threw only 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, solid ratio, and he threw a lot of yards on a lot of completions and a high percentage. 65% is pretty good for a rookie. So overall, I think Joe Burrow had a fantastic rookie season, and I think his leadership and his anticipation and those traits that are a little bit hard to find in a quarterback are stuff that is going to make him the Cincinnati Bengals franchise quarterback moving forward. And that's pretty much going to end the video for today. Did you agree with my analysis? Why or why not? Leave your comments in the comment section down below. And before you decide to leave the video, I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a like and a sub on today's video. That would really make my day. I'd really appreciate it, help my channel grow. That said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, see ya.